Well, hello there, happily married woman. It is Dr. Siobhan here, your marriage coach, helping you to create a happier, more loving marriage, all without making over that husband, right? That's what we're about here. We are all about becoming and being and maintaining our happily married woman status. And I'm really excited that you have tuned in to this video today. So you all know that I am on my 21 days of live streams. I don't even remember what number today is. I think it might be 4. But here I am doing a live stream in this group. And if you caught my live stream earlier this week, you know that I've started this series on sort of breaking free of negative thinking and how to really rid ourselves of this addiction to thinking negative thoughts, whether that's about someone else or about our circumstances or about ourselves. That negativity just sort of sits within our bodies and creates this sort of addictive pattern where we rehearse over and over again the same thoughts, the same beliefs, the same opinions every time we're confronted with particular situations. And inevitably, that way of thinking leads us to feeling badly. And when we feel bad, we act poorly, right? So we may overreact, we may be rude, we may develop some resentment, may even lead to depression. And so I wanted to just touch upon this topic of negative thinking, because when I think about the characteristics of a happily married woman, one of those key characteristics is the ability to really direct and to control your thoughts. And that requires that you're first very self-aware, that you can, reflect on who you are being and what you like about that and what you don't like about that and what you want to change. And by being aware of that, it really enables you to then sort of be conscious of the way that you're thinking and how that's having an impact on your life and your interactions with your husband, other people in your life, and to be able to choose different thoughts. And so it probably sounds really weird to even say, like, choose your thoughts. We feel like our thoughts are so automatic, and many times they are. But I often like to make the analogy, right? When a negative thought comes and knocks on your door, like imagine that you're at home and like the negative thought is like literally ringing your doorbell, knocking on your door, right? It comes automatically, like you can't control that the thought has come, but you have the choice what to do when that doorbell rings, when that, person, that negative thought is knocking on your door. Do you invite the thought in, right? Do you invite it in? Do you sit down on the couch, have a long conversation? Do you have tea and crumpets and sandwiches? And 2 days later, this negative thought is like a permanent resident in your mind. Or do you kindly notice, okay, you're here, negative thought, and do you just like, thank you, but no thank you, and shut the door, right? Like a telemarketer or like a solicitor of some sort, right? You just politely usher it away, right? And so that's what this series is all about, and that's what being a happily married woman is all about. It's just one of the many qualities that we'll discuss over the time that we're together in this group. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you've probably heard some of this before, but it's always great to get a refresher, right? So directing and controlling your thoughts. Now, on the first day that I started this breaking free of negative thoughts, I talked about entering into a place of acceptance, accepting your situation, accepting the reality for what it is. You can definitely go back and check out that video. The next day, which was step 2 in this process, was really all about being able to look at yourself and reflect, and to identify what you're supposed to be learning, how you're supposed to be growing in a situation, in a circumstance, in an experience that's not going the way that you would like, that's leading to some negative thinking. The way to shift your thinking, one part of that step of the process, is to really reflect on yourself and look at what you're supposed to be learning and gaining out of the experience. And the ultimate, cherry on top of this amazing Sunday is the practice of gratitude. And I had every intention of coming on today and sharing with you some gratitude practices and exercises. And I want you to know that I experienced so much resistance in my own life today to really being able to enter into and to step into and to embody gratitude. And so as I thought about coming on with you today, I was like, you know, I'm not even like feeling it the way that I need to be feeling it to be able to share it with others. And so it made me think about it like, well, why not just be transparent about resistance, right? The resistance that we sometimes feel to being truly grateful, right? Because I'm sure if you're in a bad mood or if you're having a negative thought or you're complaining about something, you know, there are probably people in your life that will just suggest, well, you know, stop thinking about it that way. Look at it a different way and, you know, stop complaining. There's so many people who would like, you know, trade places with you in a second. And they mean well, right? They mean well by that, but you still feel the resistance, right? Because obviously you're not able to enter into a place of gratitude or you wouldn't be complaining, you wouldn't be upset. And so I want to just acknowledge and share with you my own experience today, even of having resistance. There were many, many things that happened over the course of the day that, you know, really triggered me and triggered emotions that led me to be in a bad mood. And so I noticed my word choice there, right? I didn't say that those situations caused me to be in a bad mood, because I am fully aware that I am empowered and I have to take full responsibility for my emotions. But I was triggered and I made choices in my thinking that led me to be a little bit frustrated, a little bit moody, a little bit cranky, whatever you want to say. So as I share transparently my own experience, I know that all of us deal with this, right? And I've been studying this stuff for years, and it takes a lot to become a master of your emotions. But when you do fall off, right, it's all about the recovery, being able to recover quickly. And hopefully I've done that. We'll see by the time I hit the bed tonight. But I'm coming on tonight to talk with you about that resistance. And I want to be really quick, because I just want to provide you with just a snapshot, like just a little peek into what may be going on. And so I have notes, of course, because I want to make sure that I get this right. And I really like how I wrote it down just a few minutes ago. So part of the reason why we struggle with negative thinking and negative emotions is because we are orienting ourselves into one of two ways. Either we are living in the past or we are living in the future. Okay? You're living in the past or you're living in the future. You're rehearsing something that happened before, or you're concerned, worried, anxious about something that might happen in the future. Those are sort of like the fertile environments to create this pattern of negativity and negative thinking. And so if you're looking in the past, that is what I like to call sort of a regret orientation, where you are inundated with thoughts about this should have gone this way, or this shouldn't have happened, or, you know, I would have done that if this, right? And so you're looking sort of over your shoulder all the time at what went wrong in the past, right? It's already done. You can't change it. Yet your mind is still stuck there, right? Time has moved forward, but your emotions and your mindset is still stuck there because you're resisting the reality of what happened. And so you go back there and you replay the situation over and over again. And it's almost as if your body is in that experience of the past again. And so that's one thing and one reason why you know. Yes, there we go. So we are back. So that's what I was talking about, regret orientation. You're sitting and stewing in the negativity of what should have happened, what could have happened in the past. The other end of this spectrum is more about anxiety and worry and fear of something that could possibly happen, right? So you think about worst case scenarios, or you think about, you use the past to predict the future in some negative way. And so, and if you're in this space of sort of an anxious future orientation, then you spend a lot of time in worry and confusion and uncertainty about what might happen in the future. And that causes a lot of negative thinking there, because you sort of paint the worst case scenario and you feel ill prepared to deal with that scenario. And so that is another way that we sort of stew in negativity and negative emotions. And why I wanted to talk about those two orientations, so a regret orientation and a future, anxious future orientation, is because those are the mindsets, those are the habits of thinking that take us out of the present moment, that take us out of what's in front of us for sure right now, right? And so maybe something bad happened in your past, right? But it's not happening right now. Or maybe there's a possibility that something bad could happen in the future, but it's not happening right now. And so in order to really embrace what I want to share with you related to gratitude, it's so important that we develop the habit and the practice of entering into the present moment. And I wish there was some like complicated, scientific, rigorous, technique that I had to teach you with some fancy name. But what I have found has helped me the most is just making an observation of what's in front of me right now. Okay? So many of you know I have a 1 and a 3-year-old, and my goodness, are days interesting with the two of them. And so I know that usually around like dinner time, between like 6 to 8, 6 to 9, life is chaotic. Someone's crying, someone needs to go to bed, someone needs to eat. It's like a mini disaster. And so there are times where if I'm not careful, I will project the disaster that is to come at those hours, right? But what I've really learned to teach myself to do is to treasure those perfect moments throughout the day where everything is actually going perfectly. And so I will tune in, like literally channel my mind to what they are doing, what I'm experiencing, what's happening, and I will say to myself, right now, this moment is perfect. They are playing, they are enjoying each other, nobody's crying, I'm feeling good, they're feeling good. Right now, this moment is perfect. And so that's the sentence I want you to start rehearsing in your mind. I want you to learn to tune into those perfect moments throughout your day, right? Whether that's related to you and your husband, whether that's related to another aspect of your life, but to be able to really sort of stop looking over your shoulder at the past or stop worrying about what might happen in the future. Tune into what is in front of you right now. Make the observation, right now, this moment is perfect. And experience it. Feel it. Feel the perfection of the moment, right? Maybe that moment is right now as you're watching this video. Maybe right now, your husband isn't doing something to get on your nerves, or you haven't done something to upset him. Or maybe this moment is perfect because you're getting a message that you really need right now. Whatever it is, I want you to look throughout your day for those perfect moments. And just say to yourself, right now, this moment is perfect. And try your best to increase that daily, because that's what's going to help you get out of this cycle. That's what's going to help you break free from negative thinking and enable you to really embody and embrace and sort of experience gratitude at the deepest level, right? And that's my desire for you. That's my desire for myself as well, right? So that's just what I wanted to come in and share to you today. We experience resistance to gratitude because we're either looking over our shoulder at what went wrong in the past, or regret orientation, or we're anxious, worried, troubled by what might happen in the future, an anxious future orientation. The solution to overcoming that resistance, the solution to breaking free to negative thinking is to enter into the present moment. Right now, this moment is perfect. Right now, this moment is perfect. And all I want you to do is to just type that in the comments. If you can stretch yourself to find some perfection, some area that is just perfect right now, just type it in the comments and let me know that you've received this message and that you are going to look for more perfect moments throughout your day. Thanks so much for watching. I'll be back with you tomorrow.